Now,
everybody.
Kate, you're a producer for Millennium Effects. What does that involve? What on earth does that mean? What do you do?
Basically, wonderful people like Mark write us scripts, and the BBC gives us a phone call, thank God. And we take the words that Mark writes and I mangle them from start to finish. So basically, I manage the monsters from word to screen. So I make sure that everything gets made, and that the monsters.
You do a pretty fine job, you and your team, and of course Mark, writer of 7 that we've seen so far, but very nearly 8.
Very nearly.
Yes, 8. What are we now? A few hours
We
away.
should really go home now, just in case.
8:15. You're going to be watching tonight, Sleep No More, one of Mark's episodes, and of course, you've written those stories, but you've also been in the show as well. Now that's quite a unique situation for writers, isn't it? Being a writer and an actor and being in a show.
I think I'm only the only other person is Glyn Jones, who wrote the Space Museum.
Gosh.
And was then in the Sontaran experiment.
Pardon?
Victor Pemberton was a script editor, and then in a non-speaking role in the Moonbase. So
God, what a map of knowledge!
Me and Glyn and Victor occasionally go out for a pint.
Yes,
we form a very small club and talk about art.
So you were Gantop in the Wedding of River Song, yes. But actually I watched it. I never knew it was you because you
maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure. I can't remember
your prosthetics.
No, it was a great joy. I mean, I played Professor Lazarus, and then I was having a Sherlock meeting with Steve, and he came off the phone and said, "Will you just come and be a space Viking for me?" I went, "Yes, sure." But I do, I'd always go back anytime, but I do think there are a lot of brilliant people who've not yet been in it once who should be before.
You came to a bit of a grisly end there.
Scripts come through, it's quite sort of obvious what direction we're going in.
Yeah.
But some writers are sort of a little bit more vague, which is nice as well, because it gives us the opportunity to grow within the story and kind of collaborate with them as we develop the design. So I mean, we get the script and I interpret it, and then I tell these guys to get going. But we also use illustration and 3D modeling. We also use clay maquettes as well. And I don't know if any of you have had a chance to go to the main arena, the Millennium Effects stand. There's a gentleman there called Gary Pollard, who's basically doing the exact same concept that the guys are doing back there in clay.
And there must be some creatures that are actually really difficult for you to imagine. And we'll take your first script, Mark, The Unquiet Dead, where the aliens were gas. So that was a great concept, but how on earth, I appreciate you won't have worked on that one necessarily, but if you've got
it was all CG, but
how do you actually, there must be some creatures that are actually very difficult because they're tiny or because like that one that's gas. How did you come up with that one, Mark?
It was just, the idea was that they were sort of, it was a ghost story, so they were hiding in the walls, but it was sort of using Victorian technology. That was the idea behind that one. But I know sometimes there's a bit of a debate about whether something should be CG or not. I remember the werewolf in Tooth and Claw was a beautiful CG thing, but I think there was a big debate about whether that should be an actual costume and a prosthetic or not. So sometimes it's a toss-up, really, isn't it, about what goes where.
Is a CG like the top tier in terms of money? Is it the most expensive thing to do you think?
I'm not sure really. I couldn't really answer that, but I mean on Doctor Who in particular, we all work so closely together. We work quite closely with all the VFX companies that work with Doctor Who, and also the in-house BBC VFX people. So I mean, sometimes it's monsters that we do where we work together. So the half-faced man, for example, is a bit of both. So we made the three, the physical puppet and also the prosthetic.
Oh, yeah, we've got it on the screen here.
This is taken us through the movements, and basically you have to portray through your body movement that the actual costume is heavy. So every step you basically take a little pause, and you basically just make sure that everything you do is positive and hard.
And does it ever go wrong? Because vision must be really tricky, especially in a great big visor like that.
It's pretty good, to be honest. We have to rehearse our steps. So a lot of the Cyberman stuff that we did, we were literally counting 12 paces forward, 8 to the right, and then 5 to the front.
And of course, if you're moving in what's the collective name for a group of Maya? what is it, a herd, a flock,
A mile.
a mile,
A mile.
If you're working as a team of 5, you have to all keep in step as well, don't you?
That's right. So before every take and every move that we do, normally I was in the front, so I'd actually shout at the guys behind me, and left, right, and left, right, left, right. So basically we would all set off at the same time.